Hi, my name is Albo, and in this video we are going to take a quick look at Flatter version 2 new features. So I've been thinking about updating Flatter, my multiband distortion plugin, for quite a while now, and I've finally got it done. So let's jump straight into my computer and I'll show you the new features and what's new with Flatter 2.0. Okay, Flatter version 2, here we are then. I feel like I always pronounce Flatter differently. Sometimes I pronounce it like Flatter, and then again sometimes I pronounce it like Flatter. Flatter. Hopefully my pronunciation don't bother you too much, but anyway. Okay. The main difference in this version is the new variable amount of bands. So as you know, the last version only had option for 3 or a single band modes. So here we actually have the previous version, so I can maybe talk you through it like comparing. I don't know if that makes sense. Let's see. So okay, here you can see that we only had these 3 distortion modules down on the bottom here. But now we have 4 of them. And to change the amount of bands, all you have to do is to press this shape here, which displays the crossovers in a image sort of thing. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. And 4 bands is the default one. You can always just go down from there and choose the amount of bands you want. You can also notice from comparing these two that the kind of general dimensions of the plugin are a little bit different. So the spectrum analyzer is a little bit smaller now, and this is to make more space and vertical room for the distortion modules. In the previous version, I and many of you felt that they were a little bit too small. So that is why I made more room for them and made the spectrum analyzer smaller. Okay, before I go further, maybe I will just quickly talk you through the other kind of big addition to this plugin. In the future, I will be adding a linear phase option for all of my multiband capable plugins. So Flatter is the first one. So what the linear phase button in the new version of Flatter does, it kind of just gets rid of all of those phasing issues if you are doing some parallel processing. It also introduces some latency. That's kind of the trade-off of linear phase. So you will gain some latency, but also you will make the overall summing of the bands linear in phase. Also, it takes a little bit more CPU power, but not that much. So you probably shouldn't have to worry about it if you don't use like maybe 8 times oversampling, which is when you might start to notice some big differences between the linear phase and the normal filters. Most people will not notice any difference in the sound between the two filters, but some of you might. So yeah, anyway, they are there. Okay, then I'll move on to rest of the new things. We have this new spectrum analyzer here, as I told you. We also don't have the decibel marks here anymore. I felt like they weren't really needed, because this is more like more of a reference thing only. So you might not need any specific decibel values, which is why I thought, why not make it cleaner and get rid of them entirely. Also, you can now type in the crossover point values. So if you have a specific point in mind, you can just press the label above the slider and type in the value. You cannot cross the other sliders. So if you are in this configuration and you would like the middle crossover point to be above 2K, you kind of have to first move the upper slider, after which you can move the middle slider as well. Okay, so I totally forgot to mention you a couple more things about the spectrum analyzer. First, I made a 4.5 decibel tilt around 1000 Hz. This is to display to you more accurately how your frequency balance is. So often if you see the frequency is flat, that means that your frequency balance is more or less right. Another thing is that in the previous version, the spectrum analyzer was more form over function, so it didn't give you much detail. In this new version 2.0, I spent time to make the analyzer higher quality, so more detail and more accurate representation of your audio. Then going down in these distortion modules, there aren't a lot of new things. I got rid of the mute button and made it so that you can now solo multiple bands at the same time. This is to make space for the auto gain button here. Previously it was beside the input slider here, and I felt like it kind of didn't look that good, so I moved it up here next to the solo button. You can also notice that now we have these tooltips here. So when you move, for example, the output slider, you can see that you are moving the output. Also for the sensitivity for the dynamic modes. Some of you asked for visible amount labels for the mix and tribe. I tried them with the same tooltip overlay here, but it made the whole thing kind of hard to see. So when you are moving a shape here, you wouldn't be able to see the shape behind the overlay. So I tried it, I didn't really like it, so that's why there aren't still any visible labels for the mix and tribe. But when you see the distortion shape, you kind of intuitively know what's happening. So down here it's linear, and up here it's more non-linear, so that's clearly the mix, and this one is the tribe then. Unfortunately, no new distortion modes. I decided not to add any more exotic ones like bit reduction or anything, because that's not really the point of this plugin. Flatter is more made for these wave shaper functions, and that's what I originally designed it for. And for more exotic distortion types and algorithms and whatnot, it's sometimes hard to show you what exactly it's doing in this surface here. So I decided let's keep it simple, and 46 distortion functions is plenty already. So yeah, the last thing I want to talk to you about is the way it's loading new parameters. So for version 2, I got rid of some of the parameters, as I told you. Previously, when you switched between 3-band and 1-band modes, you only had one parameter for that. I think it was called just simply multiband. That's gone, and now we have a separate parameter which is named num bands, I think, or number of bands. I don't know how it's called behind the plugin. Maybe I can see it here. I can't. There are so many parameters. Oh yeah, num bands. Yeah. So when you are loading new projects with the new version of Flatter installed, the sound will stay the same. I have made it so that it kind of loads the same settings even though the parameters are not the same. So you shouldn't have to worry about not getting the same sound anymore when you install this new version. The only thing is, if you have in some of your projects automated some of the parameters that are not longer in this new version, you would have to update your project to automate the new parameter. Actually, this is also true for all the parameters in the distortion module, so they are not named the same anymore. Previously they were the name of the parameter low, mid and high, and now it's band 1, band 2, band 3, band 4. So yeah, that's also something to consider. As I said, the plugin should load all presets and all project settings as expected. But if you have automated some of them, your DAW might not know what you're automating anymore because the parameter is no longer there. So anyway, that's just a heads up. Okay, just so that this video isn't just me talking, I will show you a couple of places here in this project I started this morning to show you the use cases for Flatter. If you want to hear how it sounds like this. So this is one here. I used the fresh function, which is found under the aggressive, for this bass here. And without the plugin, also for this other base fill, I called them. Okay, maybe let's make a quick example on the fly. I don't know if I can do this, but let's try it out. I have this. Analog lab here with this kind of, I don't know, electric piano sound. Maybe let's play something and add flatter to it if we can make it better. I don't know. Let's see. Okay, that's terrible. Anyway, let's try it out. So we don't probably need all 3 bands for this. Maybe even 2 bands is enough. Maybe let's use crisp for the lower bands, a little bit less. And then let's see the higher band. Just a little bit of harmonics. And then without the plugin. And with the plugin. You can always put on the lock and pull down the mix to make it a little bit more subtle, or maybe the drive even. So let's hear how it fits in the mix. Probably terribly, but that's expected if you just do things on the fly. Let's add a little bit of sidechain here. And let's see. So first, without the plugin. And then with flatter. So really subtle, just brings the keys a little bit more up front. So that's the Flatter 2.0 update. It's free for everyone that already owns Flatter, whether or not it's purchased from my website. So just go to the website that you purchased the plugin from, and you will find the new installers available for free. For everyone else, if you got interested in the plugin, I will also leave the product page link down in the description, so you can take a look at the plugin and maybe try the free unlimited time trial version to see if it would fit your workflow and if you like how it sounds. So go check it out. Okay, anyway, that's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye bye.